Welcome back to the Escape the Clock video series, an information series where I, the author of the Escape the Clock book, walks you through how to build your program to financial freedom and early retirement. Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of the Learning Series. As I mentioned in the kickoff video, I have two series for you. One is this series, where I take all the big ideas from Escape the Clock, and video by video, I present it to you as a project that you can pull into your personalized program. As you go through it, before you know it, you'll have a robust program plan that you can execute against and make real progress towards your financial dreams. The other video series is a tutorial series where I walk you through how to put some of those things in action using the Escape the Clock planning and tracking tool, an important one as well. There's a lot of stuff to cover. Today, I'm going to start at a very high level, give you some of the ways to frame your state of mind, and show you how this stuff can look as a project plan for your program. So there's a lot of great stuff to cover, so let's get into it. For this episode, I'm going to touch on the big strategies. By the end of this, you'll have a lot of answers to a lot of important questions. In particular, these four. These are probably the four questions you want to know, or you believe you do know and you're just trying to verify. How much to save for an early retirement? That's going to depend on how long that early retirement is and how your cost of living looks. In other words, what does your spending look like? How to invest your savings? Well, there's a lot of books and financial advisors who will tell you exactly how to do that. I'll try to present to you all the best of all those options so you can pick the one that feels most comfortable for you. How to replace work income. This may or may not be part of your strategy for financial independence or early retirement, but you really should consider it because having extra cash while you're retired coming in does provide a lot of comfort, particularly when you don't feel like you can withdraw as much as you might want to that year. It still feels good to know you have cash coming in. And on the years that you can withdraw more because markets are good, things are up, and extra cash flow is just even more you can invest, which feels great. And finally, how do you accelerate your wealth? Now, I'm not just talking about how do you save as quickly as possible. That's definitely part of it. I'm talking about in every phase of your life, on every different income situation, how do you take what you have and make the most out of it? And we'll touch on all of those throughout the end of the series. It takes time to answer some of these big questions. FIRE movement, wealth triangle, zero-based budgeting, 50-30-20, 10% rule, 4% rule. You may or may not have heard of some of these things. Each one preaches some magic idea or some magic formula for building wealth. And you know what? There's goodness in all of them. But if any one of them completely solved the problem from everyone, then everyone would probably be doing it and would know about it. That's not the case means that the truth is probably somewhere more in the middle. Because the truth is, there's a lot of nuance to life and things can be really tricky. Let me pick on one. I'll pick on FIRE for a minute. Financial independence, retire early. It's a very popular movement, been getting more and more popular, and it offers a lot of simplicity. And if you haven't heard of it, here's the oversimplified version of it. The idea is if you know how much you need to spend in a year and you can save 20 years worth of that, then you can live your entire life by taking out about 4% every year off of that. Now, that's been vetted by Trinity Study. People, are being able to do this successfully. But when I talk to people, they're really attracted by stuff like that, but they're not really doing it. When I ask what's holding them back, the answer is that simplicity actually scares them because they know that their particular situation is more complicated. They have a lot of questions they don't get answers to with something that simple. That doesn't mean that it's wrong. There's something there for us, but we need more as humans to navigate this very complex and sometimes ambiguous world. So, FIRE, it has a lot of good to offer. We can pull some of the best of those strategies into our program plan, and we can use risk mitigation to watch and manage things as we go. Because when life surprises us, it's all about looking ahead and being able to react. Same with all those other ones. There's a lot of great financial strategies out there. Using a 50-30-20 rule, we can stay balanced. We can make sure that when something goes bad, all of our eggs aren't in one basket. Dollar cost averaging and growth investing and tax loss harvesting and Roth conversions. These are actually really powerful things. And you may not have even heard of all those, and that's okay. The idea, though, is depending on your situation, the place, the time, all that stuff, some of those may actually be really, really good for you, but maybe never. It just depends. And so the idea is being informed and having someone you can trust, guide you at times so you don't have to be an expert in everything, so that you know, hey, I should be considering a Roth conversion. That actually makes a lot of sense for me. Or no, I should avoid it. I actually overall would actually lose out on financial gains because I should keep that money exactly where it is. So that's what this is really about. This is about understanding the high level so that we can have some good strategies. We can take the best of a lot of these frameworks and we can start to tailor them in based on individual circumstance and individual goals using verified strategies to make real progress. Take a step back. Let's look at the big picture of what success looks like here. Since we're going through how to think of everything at a high level, I thought it might help to start with a simple analogy. So take this graphic here. Think of your financial independence as a rope that you need to burn. You need a fire to burn that rope. Your income is the resources you have to build that fire. The more cash you have, the larger fire you can build. But the height of the rope itself depends on how much you're spending every year. So that rope might be very far away or it might be closer. It just depends on your spending. So if you spend less, you need to burn less to get to the rope. That's just basically the simple math. Even if you plan to spend more, you can still get there though. So it's okay to want to spend more money, especially if you have a way to accelerate the fire. Investing is how we're going to get gas for that fire. It can burn the logs faster and stronger, but if we're not careful, we'll burn out the fire or maybe even hurt ourselves in the process. The goal is to ensure that we know how high the rope is, so we have a target that we're trying to reach, leveling it to a reasonable place that we feel comfortable at, right? If we know it's okay that the rope can be lower, let's lower it. And then adding more and more tinder to the fire over time and fuel to get to that rope. So increasing income at work and making extra cash from side gigs and passive income, that gives us a really nice foundation for a good fire. Smart investing means that we can stretch the fire further and build it up faster. But we have to watch out for others, weather conditions, and things getting in the way. Markets will have downturns. There will be setbacks at work. Even our health can become issues. Or even worse, there could be things that we don't even expect, such as, being hacked or all kinds of situations. These things can really slow us down, but they don't have to extinguish us. With good strategies in place, you can maximize the amount of logs you have. You can put the right amount of gas on the fire, and you can know how to watch for and deal with all the bad weather events that might get in the way. At the end of each episode, I'm going to present a project plan for your consideration. Here's an example of one here. I actually pulled one from the book itself, which was the project plan for building out the actual financial program. So as you can see here, it consists of a set of tasks, each one aligned with a different minor milestone. When all the project tasks are said and done, the M1 milestone will have been completed. Big celebration for progress in the journey to financial independence for this individual. Here you can see how things would break down. A project name will be presented. It's up to you if you want to use that at all, or if you might want to change it. A series of tasks that you might consider. And then it comes down to tracking. You can set start and end times to indicate how long things are taking. You can set statuses to indicate where you are, and you can put summaries on those as well. Here you can see for task 1, they're actually following the planner tutorial video, episode 1, and referencing the Escape the Clock book for when they get stuck on how to go and complete that task. For task 2, they could follow through episode 2, and if they get stuck, they can just reach out and schedule time to get some assistance. It's up to you on what type of mitigations you might want to do. But what's important is always trying to think ahead where you might get stuck, have an idea of what you might do. It gets way more critical later when we're talking about important investing decisions and big financial choices, because if we can avoid a costly mistake, it will help us hit our goal way sooner. I know this first video is a bit higher level, but I think that's important to start with because each episode we're going to get more and more into the weeds. Every program is different. And as you can see, the project approach is to say we have a strategy, meaning we have some way to get towards a milestone, a goal that we're trying to accomplish. And that project gives us the step-by-step task-based approach to get there. Because you might have some big goals in life. You might want to buy and own a home. Maybe you have multiple kids. You want to make sure they all go and get higher education. Maybe you're in a debt situation and you're like, have a larger project plan on how to reduce that debt and stay debt-free the rest of your life. There's a lot to cover, and we'll go through each of those piece by piece. And as you go through and you build yours into your program plan, you'll start to see that you'll have a roadmap before you know it. So next time, we're going to start with a really important one, which is understanding your spending, because your costs actually can control the mileage you get here. Higher your costs, the less you might have to save and invest. So therefore, you're the car, the longer it might take to get to your destination. So we're going to talk about how to optimize your spending so that you can stretch that money and so that you can start to build accelerated wealth that you can retire on even faster. See you then. Quick reminder, I'm a retired program manager, not a financial planner or a fiduciary. All the information presented here and in the Escape the Clock book is expected to be reviewed with a certified professional. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. Support the show by visiting escapetheclock.com, where you can find the guide, the planner, and more episodes. If you need help with building or running your program, you can schedule help at the site. If you, a friend, or loved one is feeling trapped by work or money, let them know about escapetheclock.com. Remember, time is your most valuable asset. Start living life on your terms and escape the clock.